Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rian Eka Fauziah from class B3 2019, and in this video I would like to give a presentation about my research paper, and the title of my research paper is Improving Students' Speaking Ability of Descriptive Text Using Gamification Method for 7th Grade Junior High School. And then the abstract for the research paper is to be able to speak English fluently is beneficial for students who learn English as second language. Yet in fact, students might have good English skills but are struggling to speak in English. Henceforth, as most young learners like games, the researcher chose gamification method to improve students' speaking ability. His study aims to identify whether there is improvement in students' speaking ability of descriptive text through gamification method. The research was conducted within 3 meetings with the sample of 40 students of class 7 junior high school. The study used mixed method with sequential exploratory design. In collecting the qualitative data, the researcher used questionnaire which consists of 12 statements, observation, field note, and interview. And for the quantitative data, the researcher used pre-test and post-test. After the data collected, the researcher analyzed the data by using IBM SPSS 26. The results of the test showed that the data collected was normally distributed and homogeneous. Therefore, the researcher conducted paired sample t-test with the result of significance level is 0.000, which is lesser than 0.05, and from this result it can be concluded that alternative hypothesis is accepted and null hypothesis is rejected. It means there is a significant improvement in students' speaking ability of descriptive text after gamification method is applied. And the background of the research is speaking is one of the productive abilities that require good vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation to master. To be able to speak fluently will be useful for every language learners to communicate and also to express their ideas and thoughts on daily communication activities. There is a need to apply the cycle of teaching, speaking, where learners are scaffolded through several steps, including guide, planning, speaking tasks, reflection, and feedback in learning. Burns, 2019. And this is in line with the method that the researcher chosen, which is gamification method. And then for the research questions, the first one is, how is the process of implementing the gamification method to improve student speaking ability? And the second is, what are the students' difficulties and responses during the process of using gamification method to improve their speaking ability? And the third one is, to what extent can gamification method improve students' speaking ability according to students' improvement in speaking fluency? And for the objectives of the research, the first one is to analyze the process of implementation of using gamification method to improve students' speaking ability. And the second one is to find out the difficulties and responses for the students in improving student speaking ability of using gamification method. And the third one is to identify to what extent can gamification method improve the students' speaking ability. And then for the previous studies, there are not many studies conducted about the same topic of gamification to improve speaking abilities of descriptive text. And the first one is the research conducted by Salihah in 2022 and Zavitri also in 2022 showed that the positive responses from the students when gamification method is applied in teaching English, resulting in students' improvement in their English skills. This is in line with the research conducted by Maulida in 2022 that claimed that the game implementation enhanced students' motivation in learning English. And for the research method, in order to answer the research questions for this study, the researcher utilized a mixed method research which contains qualitative and quantitative data collection technique. The sequence of this research is qualitative data to identify the process of the research by using observation and interview to determine the results of the research and pre-test and post-test result to determine the quantitative data. The results of pre-test and post-test scores are analyzed and compared quantitatively to define treatment effectiveness. Frankel, Wallen, and Hyun in 2012. And for the research design, aiming at answering the research questions generated in this study, the researcher utilized a mixed method with sequential exploratory design which collect the data of both qualitative and quantitative to investigate the students' improvement in speaking abilities of descriptive text using gamification method. And according to Creswell and Clark, 2018, two primary variants of the exploratory design are the theory development variant, where the larger objective of the mixed method study is to develop theory, and the instrument development variant, where the objective is to develop a refined instrument to test a hypothesis. And then the instruments of the research are observation, interview, questionnaire, and test. For the observation as the conscious noticing and detailed examination of participants' behavior in natural setting. Cowie as in Crocker and Hayam, 2009. And then interview. The interview is to gain the deeper grasp of the phenomenon being studied in the qualitative phase that primarily relies on the questionnaire analysis. And then questionnaire, the close-ended questionnaire designed on 5-point Likert scale, which is strongly disagree, neutral, agree, and strongly agree, within 12 questions of each student's perceptions and satisfaction. And then test, the pre-test and post-test is intended to determine whether there is improvement in students' speaking ability of descriptive text using gamification method. And for the data analysis, the first one is data reduction. According to Miles and Hoberman 1994, data reduction refers to the process of selecting, focusing, simplifying, abstracting, and transforming the data. And then data display. This phase provides an organized and compressed assembly of information that permits for conclusion drawing. And then finally, conclusion drawing and verification. Conclusion drawing entails taking a step back to consider what the data have been studied for and to evaluate their implications for the research questions. And for the results, to answer the research questions, the first one is implementation. The games used were Describe Me, which is the students describe objects which is shown in front of the class. And then Taboo. The Taboo is using the taboo cards, which consists of one word and the vocabularies to help students describe the word. And then the last one is commercial break, which students pick an object and then they describe the object they have chosen in front of their friends. And with the gaming system and teachers' help, students were more encouraged to participate in the gaming activities. And for difficulties and responses, according to questionnaire and interview, the students were shy and afraid of being called upon. Moreover, they were not confident with their speaking ability, henceforth they are shy when their names is called. And then, while for the responses, students were satisfied with their improvement after the games were applied. The students also say that the gamification was fun and very helpful to improve their speaking ability of descriptive text. And for the last one, the improvement. The mean value of the pretest is 57.90 and the mean value of post-test is 77.85, which is greater than the average scores of pretest. It means that there is improvement in students' speaking tests, which is it can be seen from the mean value of pretest and post-test. And then, according to the data of the research, most students shown enthusiasm when gamification method is applied. So some difficulties were found where some of the students had lack of confidence and were shy when being called upon. From the data collected, the scores of the student speaking ability test were greater after the gamification method is applied. It can be seen on the mean score of the pretest, which is 57.90, while the mean score of the post-test is 77.85. Henceforth, there is improvement of student speaking ability test after the gamification method is applied. So the last one is conclusion. The qualitative data findings show that during the implementation of gamification method, the students were more focused, more triggered to practice their speaking. As for the difficulties and obstacles, some of the students were shy to be called on to participate in the gamification activities because of the lack confidence with their pronunciation skills and were not used to speaking English in front of their peers. However, the points and scoring system in the gamification method motivated the students to participate in the gamification activities. And then for the quantitative findings, the mean value of the post-test was greater than the post-test results. It means that there is improvement in student speaking ability after the gamification method is applied. This is in line with the hypothesis test results, which is the p-value is 0.000, which is lesser than 0.05, which means the alternative hypothesis is accepted and the null hypothesis is rejected. It means there is improvement in student speaking ability of descriptive text after the gamification method is applied. And then the suggestions. The first one is for the teachers. It is hoped that the teacher can teach students speaking abilities specifically by using gamification method. And then for the students, it is hoped that the students would be able to learn more to improve speaking ability, specifically descriptive text. And then the third one, for other researchers, this research can be used as the guidance and or comparison for future research with the same topic. The researchers suggest that gamification method can be used to improve other English skills. Thank you. I am sorry for the mistakes during this presentation. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.